कर चले हम फिदा जानो तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। कर चले हम फिदा जानो तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। कर चले हम फिदा जानो तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। सांस थमती गई, नब्ज जमती गई, फिर भी बढ़ते कदम को न रुकने दिया। कट गए सर हमारे तो कुछ गम नहीं, सर हिमालय का हमने न झुकने दिया। मरते मरते रहा बागपन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। कर चले हम फिदा जानो तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। जिंदा रहने के मौसम बहुत हैं, मगर जान देने की रुत रोज आती नहीं। हुस्न और इश्क दोनों को रुसवा करे, वो जवानी जो खून में नहाती नहीं। आज धरती बनी है दुल्हन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। कर चले हम फिदा जानो तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। राह कुर्बानियों की न वीरान हो, तुम सजाते ही रहना नए काफिले। फतेह का जश्न इस जश्न के बाद है, जिंदगी मौत से मिल रही है गले। बांध लो अपने सर से कफन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। कर चले हम फिदा जानो तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। खींच दो अपने मुंह से जमीन पर लगी, इस तरफ आने पाए न रावण कोई। तोड़ दो हाथ अगर हाथ उठने लगे, छूने पाए न सीता का दामन कोई। राम भी तुम ही लगे लक्ष्मण साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों। कर चले हम फिदा जान तन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों, अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों।
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. I was still a student when Haqeeqat was made. So I wasn't there during the recordings and things. But I know that he was going through just having, as you saw in the documentary, of him coming out of that really dark period in his life. And he had actually been, actually Dave had asked him to direct the guide first. And he took that on, but he and that American director were not getting along, and they were making a single version. So, same shot, one in Hindi, one in this thing, and it was irking the hell out of him, So there was a lot of turbulence in there. And luckily, this appointment with Caron happened. And he took it, in like a shot. And they, turned around and said, Bhaiji, you are leaving me in the lurch. Once again, there was a little bit of that tension. But he said, look, you've got a brilliant younger brother. Take him on, Trust Goldie. And it so happened that life is very strange, because Goldie went on to make one of his greatest films, and so did Dad, So it was almost as it was destined. And as you can see that my father he was an asthmatic, like I've got asthma and you're coughing away also. So he used to, we've spoken of silences and things, so it was very difficult to communicate with my father. And he and Kaifi used to have a very strange relationship. They would sit together a lot. He would discuss a scene with him, a situation, and then they would just become quiet. Kaifi would be just tapping his stick, and Chetan Sahab would be twirling a bunch of keys on his hand, of his car keys. And then suddenly he would say, Chalta hu Kaifi Sahab. And he'd say, And the next day Kaifi would write something and bring it. And look at the kind of stuff they bought out of their silences.
Do you remember anything specific of this song?
This song was, no. What I do remember is that when it was made, one of the questions I asked that made sense to me when I joined, my first film was Heer Ranjha, his first color film. So I skipped the whole black and white thing and came right into color. And I remember, I'm a Delhi guy, St. Stephen's College and all that, and I come with my Macaulian system of conditioning, and I face this man and I tell him, what's the first rule of filmmaking? And he says, there are no rules. And then I said, I was very happy when he said, no, you have to learn the grammar first, learn the language. Then I said, He says, then you can break the rules. So I said, wow, then I have to learn this language of moving images synchronized with sound, And then my second question to him, when I'm coming back to your other thing, was that why do you have songs in films? And then he said, Beta, there's one thing that you have to learn, and that is, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो अनकही रह जाती हैं, जो लोग कह नहीं पाते. This is the subconscious layer of a film. Narrative runs and dialogue and other things. जो music है ना, और जो कविता है, that is the subconscious mind. So I make films at two levels. And as you can see that most of his films, even in Haqeeqat, it's those silences that come out, because he was obviously somebody who had suffered in silence for a long time, And that pain and his realization and learning out of that pain would come out in these sequences that he would. So Kaifi wrote some of his most remarkable poems for him then, and later on Nida Fazli also, because I begin with one of Nida Saab's poems on his film. So this was how he worked. And as you can see that this is not a jingoism song where some Rambo goes off and does his bit and, picks up and bashes the other army up. This is the pain of human stupidity. We go on repeating in history, we go on fighting, and we go on killing, and we go on asking ourselves why, we go on talking of love, and go on talking about peace. But somewhere out of this pain, you must evolve, and his cinema evolved out of his pain.
Pavan, आप specifically on this particular song,
Yeah.
could you share your first thoughts?
Of course, this is a very special song because this grows beyond the canvas of cinema. Usually, जो हमारे film songs हैं, it's a byproduct of a film. But यहाँ पर ये जो song है, it grows beyond the scope of the film and becomes like a rashtriya geet, national song, just like "ऐ मेरे वतन के लोगों" or maybe a Vande Mataram also, because the way it binds people. आपने कहा कि मतलब songs are for the subconscious उसमें, but usually the dialogues in the films are owned by the characters, but the songs in the film owned by the audience.
And the filmmaker.
Yeah, of course. So, यहाँ पे ये गाना जो है, ये जब फिल्म के स्कोप से बाहर निकल जाता है, जब ये पॉलिटिकल रैलियों का पार्ट होता है, जब ये नेशन बिल्डिंग एक्सरसाइज का पार्ट होता है, जहाँ पे क्योंकि इट्स अ सैल्यूट टू आवर पैट्रियट्स, आवर सोल्जर्स, तो कहीं ना कहीं उनको एक थैंक यू नोट देने का मौका. यस, एब्सोल्युटली. तो दिस इज नॉट अ सॉन्ग ऑफ विक्ट्री, दिस इज अ सॉन्ग ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. It's a song of morality.
What Mahesh Bhatt has said in the film.
Yeah. So somewhere it leaves you with that responsibility for that loss. It's a song of loss. But what is so unique about the director's vision of this song? See, the music making process is a isolated process than the film making process. क्योंकि म्यूजिक मेकिंग पहले होता है एंड फिर वो फिल्म में यूज किया जाता है. अगर आप रोल्स को मैप करेंगे म्यूजिक मेकिंग एंड फिल्म मेकिंग की, तो समवेयर द लिरिसिस्ट इज द डायलॉग राइटर ऑफ द फिल्म, द सिंगर इज द lead actor of the film. He is driving, and the music director has the vision of the director. He is actually composing the entire thing. So you can map the roles of a music director to a director, of a lyricist to a dialogue writer, or of a lead singer to a lead actor. In a way, the way they drive because the two are isolated process. Now, how many songs in Hindi films that we see that are actually have a culmination of the film, the final driving point of the film in a song? Usually जो फिल्म्स हमारी खत्म होती है 99% फिल्म्स में, you don't drive the final point, you don't drive the final message of the film through a song. आपको 3-4 मिलेंगे, जैसे ओ मेरे माझी मेरे साजन है उस पार, वहाँ पे जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है हीरोइन का कि मैं इधर जाऊँ या उधर जाऊँ, वो एक सॉन्ग कन्वे कर रहा है. या एक रात भर का है मेहमा सवेरा जो सोने की चिड़िया फिल्म में था. लेकिन ये जो गाना है, अगर आप ये सोचिए, यहाँ पर अगर वो फिल्म धर्मेंद्र एंड प्रिया राजवंश की डेथ के साथ खत्म होती, जो उनका फाइनल वो था जहाँ दोनों के वो बता रहे हैं कि दोनों मर गए, तो जो ऑडियंस है वो किस तरह से गर जाती एक सैड फिल्म के साथ, एक सैड नोट पे, कि ये एक बहुत सैड एक रियलिज्म उसके साथ लेके जाती. लेकिन जहाँ ये गाना उस फिल्म को फर्दर ड्राइव करता है उस सैड नोट के बाद और एक बहुत हाई पे ले जाता है. डिस्पाइट द लॉस, तो वो जो ऑडियंस को जिस तरह का वो किक देता है, जिस तरह का वो एक जिस नोट पे छोड़ता है, वो बहुत हाई नोट है. वो उनके अंदर एक सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ड्राइव करने का काम कर रहा है. और यहाँ पर चेतन आनंद जो हैं, वो एक फिल्म मेकर से उठकर एक सोशल एंड पॉलिटिकल कमेंट्रेटर, एक सोशल एंड पॉलिटिकल इंटेलेक्ट बन जाते.
He's also giving a wake-up call
Yes,
to this song, because see where the song begins from.
जी.
It begins from that little boy.
जी.
Ab tumhare hawale watan saathiyon, which means he's handing over the baton to the coming generation.
Absolutely.
Right? But he's trying to tell them, try to go beyond this pain and don't repeat these things again.
Yes.
So it's a wake-up call to the human consciousness to wake up towards the spiritual path also, because his Gurukul Kangri training never went out of him.
Yeah.
He was basically a little pandit.
Yeah.
You know, when he came back home, my whole family used to speak to him only in Hindi. And he spoke to them in Hindi. Amongst each other, they used to always speak in Punjabi. I mean, her mother, Sohela, is here. Her mother was my father's sister. They used to always speak Bhaiji, Bhaiji. But Dev Sahab was Papa, you know. So, you know, there was that drift. Because when he came home from Kurukul, he had that little chendi, his little head was shaved off when he used to wear, and he was speak almost Sanskrit, this thing. And from there he jumps to England.
जी. And एक छोटी सी चीज़ और है इसमें कि it's not a song of a hero, जो हमारी normally हिंदी films drive करती हैं कि you have a hero. यहाँ पे it's a song of a collective voice. It's an ensemble film, and the way the film comes up, everybody is a hero. Every soldier is a hero. There's no leader.
Every member of the public
Yeah,
also.
absolutely.
The wife given a...
Yeah. So it becomes a collective voice, and collective voice of the nation.
Okay.
Your interpretation first.
Can I say a couple of general things about songs and films? Before I say about something, I think you have made very good points already. But let me say that as Sukhpreet and others who are doing film studies, Meher is here, they can tell you that, and you know very well, that we also listen to cinema. We don't just see it. Through radio, through gramophone, through gramophones that are connected to loudspeakers. So listening to cinema is very important for us. And Chetan Anand, I think, realized this. That's why he gives so much importance to songs in his own films. That's one thing. Secondly, you see, patriotism and cinema also go together. Once again, we have an anecdote from one of the announcers in Radio Ceylon. He said that we had more records of patriotic songs than All India Radio had, because we had put bands, etc. We didn't take film songs very seriously. So on 26th January and on 15th August, people used to listen to Radio Ceylon because that's where they got songs like these. Of course, by that time, of course, we had Vivid Bharati. Now, coming back to this, just to repeat what you have said in a different way, nations are imagined and constructed through stories, through novels, through maps, through songs like these, patriotic songs. And there is a long tradition, even before 1947, right? There's so many songs that have been written and were parts of novels, etc. So this is about sacrifice. This is very non-aggressive song. A song about a war that is non-aggressive. It's about responsibility and sacrifice for everybody, right? So, and collectivity, as you rightly pointed out, all the sacrifice by women and also youngsters. This is also a narrative that runs through the 50s and 60s films. Looks like a generation is getting older with Nehru. They are passing into the sunset, it seems. And so, of course, this is also a song about death. And they have to pass it on to the next generation. That's what they feel. And they say it also, of course.
His main thing was, because he has actually, I'm just coming to, he has ended Haqeeqat with the title, The End Is Not Yet.
Yeah.
Right.
which is why I'm planning Haqeeqat too, because, it starts from there. See, he goes on saying that life must go on, but learn. He was always pushing that. Learn from your experiences. So these are the great storytellers. My father was a storyteller.
You know, the reason why Haqeeqat was made also, you remember, he's coming out of his 7-year dark spell. And only a pain, which is a collective pain, which matches his personal pain, which he fuses with, is able to inspire him to get back to cinema. I don't think another movie would have been possible to get him out of that rut.
No. He does it in Hiranja.
No, but that's later, Baba. That's 6 years later.
He carries it through with romance.
Takes him out.
Dard Punjab ke seene se utha laya.
I understand, but Haqeeqat takes him out of his personal pain
it did.
to a higher pain.
Yes.